Hey, welcome back. I am pretty excited about this. About a month ago, did a video on an idea that I had about doing a different, maybe better candy board. And you know what? I really think I've come up with it. So I'm pretty excited about this, and I want to show you what I came up with. If you watched the other one I talked about, I wanted to use these queen excluders because I didn't want to deal with the garden wire. Anyways, there's just a lot of issues with it. You can watch this video, it'll tell you exactly what my issues were. So I thinking about it, and yes, I've told you before I could outthink cornflakes, but what I ended up doing was buying these queen excluders. Well, here we go again. So I bought these, I bought them on Amazon. They were 12 bucks a piece. I got 10 for 120 bucks. And, you know, basically then I'm just into the cost for a little bit of wood. So really, these are pretty inexpensive. I'm probably making each one of these for less than $10 or $15. No, I shouldn't say $10 or $15. If these are $12, then it'll be $3, and then that would be just like $2. So maybe a little bit more than that, but not a whole lot more. So what did I come up with? Well, in the last one, I basically said I was going to take a box and I was going to screw these on, and that's what I did. But I decided instead I was going to figure out, if you watch my mixing candy board video, I do 8 pounds of sugar. And 8 pounds of sugar creates a 1-inch patty inside, cake, candy. Anyway, one inch thick sugar in here. And I thought, well, why not just make a candy board that only is that thick? Because what I talked about and had an issue with before was when I make these, you can see a little bit, it's even here, the bees make wonky comb because this is only filled up to 1 inch. And then when they've broken through here and when they eat most of this out, they've got this pretty big space, and bees will go, hey, there's space to build comb. And so they will build comb in that space. If I'm only dealing with what amounts to a 1-inch piece, let me get this to work for you. It worked in rehearsal. If I'm only dealing with come on, work for me, here we go. If I'm only dealing with what here amounts to about 1.12 inches, and this is measuring out at 1.76 inches, so we're talking 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch in bee space is a ton of bee space. So that's why I'm really excited about this. This is a really simple project to build. I basically took the queen excluder, measured out what I needed to, and then using my great little cutlass sheet, was able to do everything I needed to do to make these very, very simply. So I took a 1x4 and was able to get 4 pieces out of them. I measured things out. I took them over to my miter saw and I basically just cut the pieces out. Not a whole lot to it. From there, I wanted to make a lap joint. You can see on this that I have a lap joint. Why did I do that? If you have just a basic butt joint, it's a lot weaker. You get some flexibility in it, and it creates a little bit of a space in between. The bees are going to see it, and they're going to spend time propolising it. If you don't have to give bees a space to propolize, don't do it. It's a pretty simple thing to do, and it just gives me a chance to complicate things a little bit more by putting them through my router. So basically what I did was I, just made a rabbit joint on this, and it was pretty simple. Did it on my router table. Set up first, I thought, well, I need a 3/4 inch lap right here to accommodate the side piece. And so I took my 3/4 inch bit, I measured everything out on it, I got it set. I knew I needed to raise it 3/8 of an inch. So I used my handy dandy measuring tools. These things are really crazy handy. If you've got a router table and you need to set up you need to buy these pieces. So for my router table, I bought these gauges, and I absolutely love them because I need a 3/4 inch cut on this piece of wood, and I'm able to take these gauges, put them together, and I'm able to measure out 3/4 of an inch on my router table. And then the beauty of it is I know that I'm 3/4 of an inch out, and I can kind of show you there. But what I ended up doing, I took my 3/4 inch bit, router bit, and I thought, hey, I can run this whole thing through this. And well, you can see what's happening. I'm sending shavings all over the place. And then when I finish up, I have not been successful. So here's what I ended up doing. I did what I should have done in the first place, and I kind of knew I was going to need to do it. And that was I just took my 3/8 inch measure and I moved my router bit out 3/8 of an inch and made that cut, and then went back through and moved it out to the 3/4 and did a second cut, and then that turned out perfect, absolutely perfect. So that's how I did the routering. I like the lap joints. I'll say it again because it makes it stronger, and in the long run I'm going to get more use out of it, and the bees aren't going to be probilizing as much. That's minimal. But so went from there, went over to my table saw, and was able to get 4 pieces of wood out of one 1x4, and I just was able to make some fine adjustments by measuring out and knowing that I was going to have 3 cuts, and I had to measure for the kerf on each one of those cuts. The kerf is the width of your blade, and it came out just with some tweaking perfect, so I have no waste, and loved that fact. So then I'm ready to put all this together. One little trick I want to show you, I do it with a lot of woodworking, whatever I happen to be doing. I like to raise my work off the bench if I'm using a lot of clamps. As you can tell, I'm using a lot of clamps. And I use hockey pucks. Now, they make woodworking pucks that you can buy that are about way, way more expensive than this. Hockey pucks work great. And I'll tell you why. It's like, what are you doing with the hockey pucks? I raise my work up because now that it's off the table, I'm able to work with it and clamp. So the pieces are going on, and I can clamp to the side, and I'm not clamping to the table because that's just a pain. Now I've got the ability to move some things around. I'm still stable. Anyways, it's just a handy little hint that I use. So that's where we're at. Now let's spend some time putting one of these together. Not a lot, we'll jump into it here. Anyway, so on to the next step. I don't want to get into really crazy fine details. You do you the way you do you when you do your work. Anyway, you get what I mean. The way that I've been finding the easiest way to do this is I make sure, again, that these are absolutely perfect on the edges. That's just the way I work. And I take a clamp it down, get it evened out, make sure everything is flush, everything is square, and then it's just simply a matter of I'm doing 3. I just broke my bit. Damn. Ugh. I broke her real good. Okay, it's a simple fix. The countersink part is just loose put on anyway. So take a new drill bit, put that in. But it does give me then the opportunity to go back and make sure that, I've got the countersinks right. I'm not going all the way through anyway, but okay. Things happen, and for Disaster Dave, things happen more often than not. Okay, well this piece, I'm not gonna be able to get that out of it. Do I just leave that in? I think I will. That's the broken bit, and it's going to be there now forever. I have to re-clamp these. Thanks for bearing with me on my issue. Everything is clamped in place. I'm going to just simply put in another couple of countersink holes. And then I'm just using 1.5 inch screws. And without getting crazy and going into crazy fine detail, I take 2 side pieces. Oh, I've already got a piece over here, so that works out. Take 2 side rails, make sure everything measures up. Put this side in. I do put a little dab of glue on both ends of this stick. I'm not gluing this whole box down because, I think, as I said earlier, I might want to use these as queen excluders. I may not, but at least it gives me that option. And I really don't need to glue the whole thing down because the screws will hold it where I need it. And there you've got it. Here's part of the other beauty of this whole thing is that I'm not going to be using as much sugar. And I am now going to show you what this looks like full. I'm going to put some sugar in it. And give you an idea of how it all turns out, and then we're going to be done with this. I'm pretty excited. I did go out and heft today, and all my hives are doing pretty good. But I'm building 20 of these, and I've got, I'm going to use all of them. So here we go. And just like magic, we're back, ready to fill this up. I'm not going to go through the process of how I do the sugar. I've got a video on that about making no-cook candy boards, and I believe it's the only way to go. And I explain that in there. Fast forward through because I spend the first half talking about how I make the candy boards. Obviously, that's old news at this point, but hey, if we don't learn anything, I think it was a little over a year ago, no, about a year ago, that I made that video, and if if we're not learning, we're not learning. Anyway, there's knowledge in there someplace. Look for it. Anyway, so in a video, I talk about this, and you can't just put sugar in and it'll all come out and go all over the place, and it's a mess. So I cut these out to keep them from year to year. And it's hard to believe, but man, I got plenty of cardboard, and I like to keep that up off the bottom a little bit. I've got some scraps, and I normally do this upstairs in our kitchen, but hey, cameras and lights are set up here, so we're doing it here. I've got 8 pounds of sugar. I mix that with 8 tablespoons of water and pour it in. And now through the magic of editing, watch how fast I get this put in. Okay, and as you can tell, it fits just about perfect. Then, and this was a debate in the last video where I talked about how I make the candy board. I take this board, and if you are from where I'm at originally in Michigan, you pack it down. But if you are from the Upper Peninsula, like the beekeeper's wife, you don't pack it down. What do?
You pank it down.
She says you pank it down. Do you pack it down? You pank it down? Leave it in the comments. Then I take the board, we even it out. And now, however you prefer, you either pack it or you pank it. And there you have it. So I couldn't be happier with this. When the bees eat this, I won't have that much space. They can't do as much wonky comb. And hopefully by the time I get to them, they won't have built any. But if they have, it's easier to clear off these queen excluders than it would be the metal mesh. I just, all around, I feel like this is the way to go. So I hope you can see the benefit of this. I'm excited to use them this year. I just made 10. I've got another 10 to make because I've discovered I need to make 10 more. But again, I want everything to be consistent. And I'm going to have at least 20 hives that need candy boards on them in the next couple of weeks. So this is what you got, and I'm pretty tickled with it. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be liked, so if you get a chance and you do like, please hit that like button. And if you hadn't subscribed, please do. We've got lots of videos and lots of stuff to talk about. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and as always, happy beekeeping.